You were created as the zenith of creation. You have to learn how to fail. That was why the devil came to teach Adam how to fail. He said, eat of this fruit, you will become like God. No, you were created in the image of God. So he was teaching the man how to actually fail. Because man must learn how to fail to be able to fail. But succeeding is his nature. When God created the flesh as a casing. Because men are not supposed to wear clothes. Men are supposed to emit glory. The garment of Abraham is the light that emitted from his spirit. So when you look upon a man, you won't know he's naked because he'll be clothed with glory. The day the man began to need clothes was when the flesh became his Lord. So the flesh became visible. When you looked upon the man before, the dimension of God he represented was his covering. The same way the cherub, when they enter a place, they come with their atmosphere and their glory. But you see, when the man fell, the flesh captured him. You know, when Jesus came, he said, if you tread upon scorpions and serpents, they will not hurt you. He said, if you drink any deadly thing, it shall by no means. That means when the man enters his reality, you can't kill him. He said, they shall by no means. So when you want to kill a man, you may need to study for a long time. Only God knows how to kill the man he created. That's why when Moses was old and stricken in age, at 120, he said even his eyes were not abated. He said he had the strength he had when he was a young man. There is a glory that man carries that makes it impossible for man to fail. But when the man fell, he lost it. He began to live by the flesh. And the day he began to live by the flesh, that day he began to die. Every appetite that rules you is a sign of weakness, because you no longer live in glory. Man became a being of appetite. So every day your flesh wants to master you. The moment it is 7 o'clock, you want to sleep. The moment you walk for 6 hours, you are tired. You want to rest. You are being mastered. It's a sign that immortality is no longer the regulating factor of your being. But there is a dimension that will come upon the man, even as we travel through the gates of revival, that will make it impossible for flesh to master the man. That was where men like Paul entered. He said, a day and a half I was in the deep. The man was under water for 1.5 days. He was not surviving by the earthly atmosphere. He could live anywhere. He said, I have learned to abound and to abase. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The reason revival comes is to give men powers over the flesh. One of the undoing of man is the fact that flesh rules him. And he may not realize it. The reason for the killings, the reason for the war, the reason for the competition, the reason for the hatred, the reason for the immorality is because we are mastered by flesh. If you can keep your flesh under check, immorality will die. You won't need to preach it, because every man will be satisfied with his wife. If we can keep the flesh in check, there will be no competition. If somebody is succeeding, you'll be happy for him. You have no reason to compete. You are contented. What God has given you is enough for you. But when somebody begins to prosper and it triggers competition, triggers gossip, triggers hatred, it means we are still ruled by the flesh. Because what the flesh wants to do is to create an economy of lust. It's always about you. It's all about you. It's not about you. It's about Jesus. How was Jesus able to, on the cross, in that pain, say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do? A man who was being killed, a man who was being mutilated, has enough power in the midst of pain, instead of being angry, to show compassion. It's because he has mastered flesh. And even in Christ, flesh wanted to find expression, but he knows how to kill the flesh. So when Jesus went to Gethsemane, it was his last attempt to put the flesh in check. He said, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh will always bring its own laws and its own dictates. But when a man knows how to tame the flesh, that man will rule in the realm of God. And when Jesus was able to master the flesh, and even in pain, did not allow flesh opportunity to find expression, the Bible said, because of what he did, he gave him a name that is above every other name. That at the mention of that name, every knee must bow and every tongue must confess